Okay, so this is my ride to work. So this is the same day that I went to the doctor's, so I'm just parked on the ground floor. So those buildings straight ahead, that's called Doshi. Basically, the government in Seoul is trying to move a lot of the businesses and the departments out, so they built this whole kind of mini city. The river here on the right, this is where we walk with Terry all the time. There's a really nice path, and they've been doing a ton of construction there. The water is much deeper than it used to be because they're setting up these dams and all kinds of things. You can see there they're still working on it. It'll probably be done just in time for us to move into our new place. Uh, Across this bridge, if you turned right here, there's a big Korean military base. Lots of speed bumps as always. So this path, it goes almost out from where Sully's parents live, all the way down past where I work and just keeps going. It's a really nice path, and they've done a lot to make it kind of pretty and walkable. There's a scrapyard on the left. You can see all the construction vehicles there still. Up here on the left is a police station. So this is one of the kind of small little regional police stations. That's the fire station first, and then the police station is afterwards. Uh, so every day I do this drive, so I've got kind of the lights memorized, which lets me know that this light is about to turn green. There it goes, and I'm off. Uh, there's always cars parked up on the right here, especially at night. All the construction vehicles parked down there, like that one. Because of that Hyukshindoshi area, this one road has become really busy all of a sudden. Everyone has to basically use this road to get home, so they've been trying to make it a little bit wider. They repaved it, but with the river there, there's not really much you can do. Tons of apartments on the right. Once you get past that one army base, it's all sort of apartments the whole way down on the right. Just like ours, it looks out onto the river, so it's really pretty. These apartments on the left, a couple of Sully's friends live in there. They're a little bit old style, but they do the trick. So on my drive to work, it brings me down through the old downtown. Uh, I'll mention it when we get there, but that one area of town used to be really popular. All the shops were there. Sully remembers going there when she was a teenager to hang out. Now it's kind of a little bit old and abandoned. Parts of it remind me a lot of like the Niagara Falls downtown, maybe a little less sketchy, but it's definitely seen better days. So we're still got the river on our right. We hang the river the whole way. And let's see, will I make this light? Does not look good. No. So he's going one way, I'm going the other. We'll both end up at the front. Oh, he's going that way. So he went up on the left-hand lane and then made a right-hand turn. In the mornings, especially on days that end in 2 and 7, there's like a big special market up here just on the right. It makes the streets really clogged and busy with people and parked cars. Every day there's a little farmer's market. They set up around 5 in the morning. But on those days with twos and sevens, it's kind of a bigger version, and it's just madness. All right, so we can skip the rest of this light, and we'll just pick up once it turns. There we go. So you can see I'm elevated there, so I can see nobody's coming, so no problems. This on the right here, they're just building a new platform there, and you can see there's still construction going all down the river. So that down there on the right, if you go down that ramp, that's where the farmer's market is on every morning. This video's in the afternoon, so that normal farmer's market's done. But on days with twos and sevens at the end, like the 22nd, hey, there's my friend, the guy who made the right-hand turn. How did he end up here? So we just skip a little bit up here. This camera makes it look way more narrow than it actually is. Come across here. La, da, 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 da. Generally, my scooter is about maybe half a meter wide, so I'm able to skip through cars quite easily in most places. If you turn left there, like where the bus is going, that'll bring you downtown. And then on the right, you can go down there, and that's where they set up. These cars are coming from the market, maybe. I don't know if this was taken on a 2 or a 7. We'll know in a minute. You can see some of those tents there that's maybe left over from the old from the morning market. On the left, there's all kind of downtown is up that way. People are selling stuff. So maybe it was I would guess it was a 2 or 7. You see all those cars parked on the left? Those are just blocking one of the lanes. So my guess is it would be one of the 2 or 7 market days. So my drive takes me kind of across the whole city, but thankfully because of the river, I'm able to just kind of cut it right across the bottom, and it's not too bad at all. That red car wants to come into my lane for no apparent reason. Let's see. Oh, so he pulls in behind me. So coming up here, we turn into this little farmer's field. This used to be like a tiny little path that wasn't really busy and was really quiet. But because of the way the roads are now set up, it's turned into this like really busy little way to cut between the 2 main streets. So on the right, you can see those are all rice paddies. They're flooded. It's a really pretty part of my walk, except when it's like manure season and you have to kind of hold your breath for the whole section. Oh, there's a police car. So yeah, I think in the past this was a really kind of quiet little spot, but now tons and tons of cars come through here. So yeah, rice paddies on the right, greenhouses on the left. More speed bumps, of course. This area is a little bit dangerous as well. You can notice there's no street lights. At night, it's pitch black, and there's a lot of old people that live here. They just walk down the middle of the road or walk down the side of the road. On the left is a train station. The train tracks are that way. This house on the right is brand new. They just built it maybe a year ago. They tore down whatever was there. But you can see it's all kind of farmers' fields. Still no street lights. There's one. But at night, yeah, it's pitch black, and it's really hard to see these kind of old little ladies and gentlemen. Straight up ahead, that's like a army base on the right, so that's a kind of a view post or a view tower, watchtower, whatever. So yeah, the left is all train tracks, the right is the army base. So Korea, Wonju rather, used to have 2 American army bases. They're closed, but there's still a ton of Korean army bases left. This little spot is also a little bit dangerous for a couple of reasons. Cars park on the left, so you turn a 2-lane road into a 1-lane road. And especially at the corner, not too bad today. Normally there's a car parked right up there on the edge and you can't really get around them. And then this lane is also crazy dangerous because it seems like it's 4 lanes, but it's actually not. There's kind of an extra lane there, but 2 lanes, my lane and that black car's lane, kind of go into the same one. So if you look at it, it looks like there's an extra lane, but there's really not. So you have to really be careful not to pull out in front of a car that's coming in that far right-hand lane. There's the entrance to the army base on the right. These walls are all painted. Every once in a while, you see the army guys out there just painting them. I guess it's better than marching or whatever. So this is the kind of old downtown neighborhood. This is where Sully's grandmother lives, and it's where Sully grew up. The army base continues down there on the right. We got to make a turn. They basically never allow left-hand turns on a green. You always have to have that advanced green. But for a scooter and for someone who can understand that it's not good to just turn into oncoming traffic, it's no problem. Also, if I can make a turn on this light, I can make the next one. Whereas if I can't, then I get stuck at the next light. And so just hop to the front of the line, wait till it's clear, make a nice turn, and then I can get into my university much easier without having to wait for extra lights. Mm-hmm. All right, so these guys have a nice long light. They don't need it. There's nobody there, so I'll just make my way down here. My bike shop on the left, that's where I take my scooter to get fixed. This whole area, as I say, is like the old sort of downtown. So there's tons and tons of old people, most of whom like don't look to see if cars are coming. They just start walking. So this building on the left is like a brand new apartment building that they've built. It's not quite open yet, but it's getting there. And a bunch of my students. Get to class. More speed bumps. Most of the universities in Korea are built kind of in the mountains or on the outskirts of town because that's where the cheap land was. And this is a good example of that. Sangji is kind of up a little bit on the mountain, and it's definitely at the edge of town. So these are the main gates. We also have back gates that look sort of similar. They put this arm up, so it's supposed to scan your license plate, and if it recognizes it, the arm goes up. If not, the arm stays down. But I've never seen the arm down, so I'm not really sure the purpose of it. On the left is a student center, and on the right is the Oriental Medicine building. So Sangji is a really low-level university, but the Oriental Medicine students are kind of the top, maybe 10% in the country. So it's a weird mix of these kind of super smart students and these less academically oriented students. The gym's on the left, more students just walking down the center of the road. On the right, there is a big soccer field, and the blue building on the right is kind of the administration building. Yeah, there's the soccer field. Why am I coming this way? I must have cafe today. Oh, okay, yeah. So I'm trying to get to the English cafe for my English cafe class. I see this is blocked. I'm like, oh, that's weird. I wonder why that is. Oh, of course. There's a student protest in front of administration. All right, so let's loop back around. Let's not limbo under there. So I must be going to the English cafe today instead of straight to my office. Or I'm just taking a weird route. So I just did all of this to show you the soccer field. So yeah, administration's off on the left, student protesters, so that's all blocked up. Random student wants to get run over. All right, it's probably clear here, so let's have a look. So most of the university is fairly old, but the administration buildings are nice and new. That yellow building straight ahead is the English Cafe building. So I've got cafe classes in there a couple times a week. Um, so it looks like that's where I'm headed. I must have had a cafe class today. So here we are at the English Cafe, ready for my cafe class. We'll just park here and we're good to go. So that's my drive to work, specifically to the English Cafe.